Have you gotten any action lately? It doesn't look like it, right? Neither have I. But football is finally back. And it's a great way to open the episode because I'm telling you guys, you can draft more than one time a year. Head on over to DraftKings.com/promo-code. Or, guys, there's a link here below. Or just download the app. When you sign up, use promo code FFLion. And week 1, you got a shot at $1 million, guys. Download the app right now. Use promo code FFLion. They are the official sponsor, daily fantasy sports sponsor of the NFL. Big things happening at DraftKings. And that's the thing. I want to team up with somebody that I've been using for years because I like to draft every single week. I love year-long, don't get me wrong, but I like to draft every single week. It just makes it that more exciting. So I've got something to do every single week, guys. They've also got other things, other perks that you're going to be entitled to with the counselor once you sign up, including me offering some great advice. There's a Fantasy 365 group I get you guys involved in. But simply, guys, download the app, use promo code FFLion. There's also a link here below. And again, we could draft together. We're doing a lot of content, a daily fantasy show every Saturday here. Help you guys get some more tips as well. But you need to download the app and use promo code FFLion. Go do that right now. The show is brought to you by DraftKings. Now, we got a big show today. Big show. I'm going to select a bust from every single team, guys. A bust from every single team. Yes, I'm going to walk through, pick one bust. Guys that are probably pretty high on the ADP that I think are not going to do as well as the mainstream sheep think they're going to do. A bust from every NFL team for Fantasy Football 2021. Let's get to the show. What are we waiting for? Let's go. All right, guys, welcome to the show. We're talking about a bust from every single NFL team. I just did an episode yesterday on sleeper from every single team. So go back and check that out. I'm going to walk through A to Z and pick one bust from every single team. A guy that the Consheepses have relatively high on their rankings that I think will completely underperform. And I'm really good at picking busts. Last year, Lamar Jackson, round 2. Avoid him, guys. Everyone's like, you're crazy. I said, avoid Michael Thomas coming off a pinnacle year. He was a first-round top 5 pick. I said, avoid Chris Godwin. Joe, you're crazy. How could you avoid Chris Godwin? Well, I don't know. Brady spreads the ball around. They've got a ton of weapons, including Gronkowski, Evans, and all these guys. So I was just like, you know what? Fade Godwin. That worked out pretty well. Fade Eckler. Worked out pretty well. He's not a full workhorse running back. Worked out well. Fade Drake. Everybody loved Drake. I said he was a backup on Miami for 4 years or 3 years or 2. It doesn't matter. He's a backup. No, guys, if you're good, you're going to start right out of the gate, okay? That's the mentality I want people to adapt. So I'm going to pick a bust from every single team. We're going to get through that. Before we do, guys, it is draft season. We are full force. Like right now, a lot of people drafting this upcoming weekend. A lot of people drafting the week after. I want to get you guys fully prepared. No rankings, no cheat sheets, none of that BS bullshit. Head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Get the 16-round draft solution right now. Or just Google 16 rounds. Just get this course. You're going to get a login as soon as you sign up, guys. And I priced it so everybody can get it. It's the same price as like a magazine, pretty much. You get it. You get a code. You log in. You get to watch my videos, mock draft secrets. There's notes there. Everything you guys need to crush your league. 16-round draft solution. I've also linked it here below on YouTube or just Google 16 rounds. Get it right now, okay, guys? Secondly, manscaped.com. You know I like the product. Head on over there. Use promo code ShowerLion. Treat yourself right now, guys. That's manscaped.com. Promo code ShowerLion. Skin-safe technology, navigational light, Lawnmower 3.0, 4.0. I like their underwear. I am a Manscaped underwear ambassador now. I mean, I'm not going to pose for you guys, but I actually been wearing them. Super comfortable. Like every other underwear I've ever bought. I bought some cheap Walmart stuff before, let's be honest. It bunches up. It gives you wedgies. This one is like really comfortable. Really, your balls literally will thank you. Manscaped.com. Head over there now. Promo code ShowerLion. Go do that, okay? Let's dive into this show. Oh, yeah, and if you haven't gone to DraftKings and download the app, go do that right now. Promo code FFLion. Sign up. And I'm going to be offering advice in my Fantasy 365 group weekly. Optimal DFS plays along with waiver wires, all that. Sign up, Fantasy 365. I'm trying to give you guys value. Manscaped, a nice manly product, right? DraftKings gets a draft every week using promo code FFLion when you sign up, right? I'm giving you guys stuff that you could actually use, stuff that I personally use, right? I don't like to do sponsorships with products and people that I don't want to work with or products that I wouldn't want to use. So I'm trying to give you guys as much value as I can and working with innovative people that offer stuff that'll make your day better, make your life better, right? All right, go do those things. Everything's linked below, okay, on YouTube, or, just DM me if you want a link. I got a lot of DMs, man, but just try to DM me if you got a question. I'll try to get back to you on my Instagram, Fantasy Football Counselor, but can't guarantee. All right, let's go. Yesterday, we went from Z to A, giving you all the sleepers. Let's go A to Z. And again, I don't prep this show. I literally have every team's depth chart. I'm going to tab, A to Z, and go over all of the busts, one bust from each team. And trust me, there's a bunch of busts on a bunch of these teams, okay? All right, let's start with the Arizona Cardinals here. Now, Chase Edmonds' value is not like, it's not like, oh my God, he's coming off in the first round. Like, I gotta, I think Chase Edmonds is going to bust, but he's sitting 26 on the consensus rankings, which means you can get him like rounds like 4 to 6, right? So, based on that ADP, I think he'll be safe, but based on the hype, people are like, oh, Chase Edmonds is the RB1 on the team. He's going to be the guy, good old Chase. And what people are doing is like they're going like 0 RB. Like they're not drafting running back early. They're going their wide receivers. And they're drafting Chase Edmonds as their starter. Like thinking that he's going to be like, a CMC or a Dalvin Cook or someone like that type of potential, or Derrick Henry. Guys, it's Chase Edmonds. When you look at my definition, I've got this saying, years to wow me, I'm not wowed. When you look at my definition of years to wow me, I'm not wowed, there's a picture of Chase Edmonds, okay? He's not good. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So he is a bust, but again, based on ADP, he may be safe, but in regards to expectations, thinking he's the one there, slated as the one on the depth chart, all this bullshit, Chase Edmonds is not a one, for God's sakes. He is the bust on the Arizona Cardinals, okay? There's more, but I'm picking one per team. Atlanta Falcons. This is very interesting because you guys know I'm not a fan of Mike Davis. Now, they brought in Kadri Olsen. They just released Javian Hawkins, so I thought would have been a deep sleeper, okay? I honestly did. I thought maybe they brought this rookie in. There's some opportunity there. Kadri Olsen. They've got Dante Foreman. They've got a bunch of other scrubs. Mike Davis theoretically is primed to succeed on the Atlanta Falcons, okay? And he did pretty good. He did pretty good on, Carolina. Now, here's the reason why I'm not going to draft him. Because Todd Gurley was slated to have a similar type of season, a big monster season last year. He busted. I thought Gurley was a lot better than Davis, and he was. Now, Mike Davis, when you look at him, right, he's a backup. He's never been slated to be the one. Now, he could have a safe season because they got some offensive weapons with Gage, Ridley, Pitts. Matt Ryan likes to air the ball out. Davis could have a very safe season. But for me, I'm not drafting him. I think he's going to be a bust. I just don't trust him. Years to wow, I'm not wow. He did okay on Carolina. But again, the only reason he did is because he was a backup. If he was that good, he would have started over CMC. And my mentality, and this is the mentality I want you guys to have, how could you hate Mike Davis? Why don't you just draft him? He's going to do good. He's the one. Yes, the opportunity's there. There's no other backup there that's good, but he's not that good. So I like to get the best of the best, the guys that are all truly. That's why I go top heavy on running backs and I draft them early. Mike Davis to me is going to bust. I just don't trust him. I think he'll be safe at best, but I think he's going to bust. Baltimore Ravens. Oh man, tons of busts here. Oh man, I wish I could pick more than one. Like Gus Edwards probably. Okay. I'm going to go with Sammy Watkins. Now, I know his ADP is not high, but I'm going to have to go with Sammy Watkins. Here's the bust, even though his ADP is not that high. Tough one. Buffalo Bills. I'm going to go with Zach Moss here. High expectations for him to be the RB1. Singletary looked pretty good in preseason. So, again, this is a tough one because, again, no one's expecting anything out of Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox, all these guys. I'm going to go with Devin Singletary here, Zach Moss here, and maybe Singletary outperforms him. So Zach Moss, again, slated as the RB1, but I think he could bust this year, okay? Carolina Panthers, this one's tough, but there's a couple busts here, but I'm going to go with DJ Moore. Last year busted, third-round average draft position busted. I get Robbie Anderson later. Now, DJ Moore's ADP has adjusted a little bit, more of a fifth-round kind of guy, fourth to fifth. I still like Robbie Anderson later. He's the one. He's got that connection with Sam Darnold. So I'm going to go DJ Moore as the bust for the Carolina Panthers. The Bears. I'm going to go with Allen Robinson. For some reason, with Justin Fields there, he could connect with Darnell Mooney. They can get Cole Kmet going. They get David Montgomery a little more in the passing game. This one's a tough one here, but I think Allen Robinson could be more bust. I definitely see the ceiling. But Robinson, I mean, his biggest year was what, like 2014 when he was on the Jags? He's been in the league a long time, and he hasn't really like wowed me. He's a good receiver. Again, it all depends on Justin Fields and Andy Dalton. Could Dalton come in and kind of be the guy? Very, very suspect there. So again, this is kind of a dicey situation. I'm going to go Allen Robinson, probably busting because his ADP is relatively high. And again, so suspect with the quarterbacks. And again, Justin Fields could make him a star, but I'm just not excited, okay? Cincinnati Bengals here. This is interesting because Jamar Chase came in as a rookie, tons of upside. Now, I don't know if you heard the news lately on Jamar Chase. I don't know if you're caught up here. Comment below if you did. But Jamar Chase apparently having some issues with his baby mama, some sort of domestic issue. I don't know all the rumors. Apparently, she had posted something on her Instagram saying that he attacked her or something like that. Again, I don't know all the details. I would dive in a little bit more. I did see it on a Instagram NFL news page. So again, I don't know. As of right now, I don't know if that's true. But in regards to bust here, this is tough. I'm going to say Joe Mixon. Again, his ADP is very high. Joe Mixon, for me, is going to bust, in my opinion. Early second-round pick. Years to why I'm not wowed. And they got Chris Evans as a rookie. Look out for him as a sleeper. So Joe Mixon's kind of my bust. But again, I have to bring up that Jamar Chase thing as well because, again, some off-field drama, maybe some fantasy implications. Cleveland Browns, the bust here. I'm going to go, again, Odell Beckham Jr., but his ADP, again, corrected a little bit better. 5th round. Based on that, he probably won't bust, but he's been busting 4 years in a row, and I'm just going to keep riding the train of him busting yet again. Even at 5th round, let's keep stretching this, okay? Dallas Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, his ADP is very high. I think he's going to be the bust of the Cowboys because you got Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, equally as good receivers, three-headed monster, limited volume count. Michael Gallup in a contract year. I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb busting here. Again, I don't like the three-headed monster situation. Denver Broncos. Man, this one's tough. I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon busting. His ADP is reasonable. He's coming off pretty much after Javonte Williams, round 6. But a lot of people expecting him, including, the Broncos think that he's kind of slated as the one right now. I think Javonte takes that job. I think Melvin Gordon's going to be a big bust. And I think he's already dealing with some injuries right now. Showing signs, man. I mean, Javonte could be a special pickup this year. Detroit Lions, who's going to be a bust? Deandre Swift coming off 2nd, 3rd round. His ADP's kind of slipped. A lot of people expecting Swift to have this big year, but they brought in Jamal Williams there. I think Jamal Williams is going to get a lot of that goal line work. Suspect offense. Not a lot of wide receivers to spread the offense. I told you about my sleeper, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, Brashard Perriman is going to be enough of a distraction. DeAndre Swift is my bust here. Green Bay Packers. I'm going to say, this is crazy. I'm going to say Davonte Adams is going to bust this year because he is a late 1st round pick coming off a pinnacle 18 touchdown season with a Cinderella type season with Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to go with Davonte Adams busting here from the Green Bay Packers, well below his ADP and possibly even getting hurt coming off that Cinderella year. Houston Texans, not sold on this entire offense at all. Some expectations for Deshaun Watson, obviously. But again, he's not really valued very high. Nobody on this team is valued very high. But a lot of expectations for Brandon Cooks. But it's hard to pick a bust here because nobody here is valued very high. Man, I'm going to go with, again, they've got a slew of running backs here. Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, Rex Burkhead, David Johnson. I can't pick a bust here because no one's ADP is high. I really can't. I think if Deshaun Watson gets a start, I don't see him trying. I don't see him saying, man, I'm in, right? Man, he could really tear it up too because he's got a chip on his shoulder. So I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson just bust it. I don't trust this offense here, but that's a tough one. Indianapolis Colts. This is interesting. Again, nobody's expectations are high. You could say Jonathan Taylor could bust on that 1st round average draft position just because Nyheim Hines and Marlon Mack are there. Pittman, Hilton, all these guys you get later. So you can't really say they can bust. Carson Wentz, nobody's expecting anything out of him, but I think he's going to be a sleeper backup quarterback with some upside. This guy could finish top 10 and really tear it up, but it's a bit of a long shot with his injury history. If I had to choose, and I'm taking a gamble, and I still like him. I love the talent, but he could bust, is Jonathan Taylor. I'm not saying he is going to bust, but he could bust based on that really high average draft position of 8th overall, pretty much. Jonathan Taylor, again, Nyheim Hines and Marlon Mack could be pests. And again, is he going to get a ton of volume with Carson Wentz? That's interesting. Again, I'm not saying he's going to bust. He said he could be busting. Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, man, did you see the news yesterday? Wow, wow. I mean, what do I tell you? Travis Etienne is out. James Robinson's the man up. And I actually am in two major leagues. One's a big money league, $350 buy-in. And the other one is the Fishbowl, and I actually have James Robinson in both those leagues. Man, am I excited about this. Not excited about the injury, but I'm excited about James Robinson volume and opportunity. And karma is a bitch. Jacksonville Jaguars tried to screw Robinson, drafting Etienne, I believe, in the first round. And why would you draft a position where you already have one? And it's kind of good that it worked out for Robinson. And again, not the injury, but so much that the volume is going to work back towards Robinson. Now they got Carlos Hyde there. He sucks. He's years too wide, but I think he'll be a bit of a pest. The bust here, I'm going to go, again, maybe even Trevor Lawrence. Like, I got him as a good backup this year with upside, but he's been looking really bad in preseason. So I'm going to say he could probably bust. Trevor Lawrence is a guy. But again, he could have a boom season, boom or bust, right? I'm just saying could bust. I'm not saying he is, but he could also boom, guys. Trevor Lawrence, he just based on preseason. I don't put a lot of weight in preseason. He's been looking pretty rough. And partly maybe because Chark isn't there. I think Chark could be that factor, right? So this is a tough one. It's very hard to choose a bust here from the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Kansas City Chiefs, a bust here. This is going to be tough to swallow here, but I think it could be Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Already banged up a little bit. Nothing serious, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a guy who is going to struggle with volume. I'm not over the top excited about him, but his average draft position is the second round. I may get him as an RB2, but I think maybe Robinson's going to get a little more volume than him. Guys like Montgomery, maybe even Jacobs gets more volume. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think Darrell Williams gets some volume. Darwin Thompson showing a lot of off-field, effort right after practice, staying in training. Tough situation here, but I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire could bust. Los Angeles Chargers, do I need to even tell you who's going to bust? Austin Eckler, let's move on. His ADP is way too high. It was way too high last year. I think he's going to bust again this year. He's not a running back. They got in Larry Roundtree the third. He's probably going to get some goal line work. Joshua Kelly showing that he can start catching the ball in the backfield, looking a little bit better. Has kind of improved his game. He had some fumbling issues last year. I believe he's kind of gotten in his head and worked it out. Joshua Kelly, Larry Roundtree, look for them to kind of step up this year, as Eckler is not a full workhorse running back. All right, let's move on to the Rams here. Breaking NFL news. Sony Michel is now on the Rams because everybody believed in Darrell Henderson except for me. Listen, years to wow, I'm not wowed with Darrell Henderson. That's why they drafted Cam Akers. Cam Akers gets hurt. You honestly think they believe in Darrell Henderson? Now, Sony Michel, this is very interesting because he was on the Patriots. As soon as he was drafted, I thought this guy could have been a three-down workhorse running back. As soon as he ended up on the Patriots, I wrote him off. He has now gotten an opportunity to be a full three-down back in an offense that likes to run the ball with the Rams. And he could get an opportunity here. But I think it's going to be a committee. They got Xavier Jones. They got Sony Michel. They got Darrell Henderson. I think Sony Michel gets a lot of that goal line work. Either way, I think it 100% kills Darrell Henderson's value. I wasn't going to draft him anyway. I warned you years to I'm not wowed. Sony could get some work and really shine this year. But that's going to be interesting to watch. Where would I draft him? I would make him an RB3 on my team at best, but hard to trust because it's going to be a bit of a committee. And it's a new offense for Michel. And he's shown signs of injuries in the past. But this is very interesting here. It could be exciting for Sony Michel. All right, Las Vegas Raiders. Who's going to bust? This is tough. I'm not sold on Derek Carr. Oh, man. I mean, no one's expecting anything out of Henry Ruggs. I mean, Josh Jacobs. I like him. I would probably consider him in the third round, but he could bust. I'm not saying Kenny and Drake's going to be a solution, but Josh Jacobs doesn't like fantasy. He's got a bit of an attitude. He wasn't involved in the passing game last year. He could bust, but again, he could have a solid season. It's a scary situation here, but again, I don't think Drake's going to be a huge threat. I think he'll be a bit of a threat. Drake will be in the passing game, but Jacobs, third round, he hates fantasy. He's got a bit of an attitude. It's going to be tough. So, again, because no one to choose. Henry Ruggs, John Brown, Edwards, no one's expecting anything out of them, right? Waller should get what he gets, right? Derek Carr likes him. Jacobs is the only guy that sticks out as a guy that could bust. Miami Dolphins here. Man, I'm going to go with Myles Gaskin. People think he's like the real deal. He could boom or bust. Myles Gaskin, I don't trust the Dolphins and their running backs. Maybe Tua could bust as well, but I'm going to go with Myles Gaskin here. High expectations for a Miami running back. Now, I wouldn't say high expectations, but people kind of expect him to have a good year. Maybe. I'm not sold on Miami Dolphins at all, period. Vikings, Dalvin Cook is my bust. He's a top 4 pick across the board. He's going to get hurt again. Let's move on. He's going to bust. Dalvin Cook has not finished the season. He is one snap away from snapping his leg. I do not trust him. He is due for an injury. He was hurt every year in his career, minor injuries last couple seasons. Don't trust Dalvin Cook. He will bust this season. Okay? Remember this. I'm going to come back to this video, and I'm telling you, Dalvin Cook's going to bust this season. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. He hasn't finished the season. Dalvin Cook will bust. He will get hurt this season, 2021. Mark, I'm not wishing injury, but I'm telling you, Dalvin Cook has shown us a history of busting. I don't see that changing this year. New England Patriots, I'm not drafting anybody here at all. Bust here, I'm going to go with Damian Harris. High expectations from, not really high, but people think he's going to do well, but it's always a committee there. They got Rondé Moore Stevenson there as well. Again, I don't trust any of these guys. It's a committee. New Orleans Saints, who's going to bust here? I'm going to say probably Alvin Kamara. New offense, new quarterback. Taysom Hill stealing that goal line work. Jameis Winston, Alvin Kamara's success is defined by his receptions. Is Jameis Winston going to pass enough to Alvin Kamara to make him viable? Big question mark. He could bust based on ADP. He's very high. He's a top 5 pick. Is there enough to go around? New York Giants. Oh, man. Kenny Galladay. I don't think the volume's going to be there. I'm going to say he's the bust there. Could boom or bust. A lot of this is predicated on Daniel Jones. I'm going to say Kenny Galladay is a victim of a bust. New York Jets, nobody's expecting anything out of these guys. Corey Davis is expected to be the one. Elijah Moore, we haven't seen much out of him. He's been kind of hurt. I like Elijah Moore to be the one. Corey Davis, years to why I'm not wowed. I think Corey Davis is going to bust based on the expectations that he's supposed to be the one. But again, he could go off. Him and Zach Wilson have been connecting, but I'm going to say Corey Davis. Boom or bust, though. Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to go 100% Jalen Hurts here. He's a top 10 quarterback. This is a situation where I could say he's a bust. There's other quarterbacks that are going to finish ahead of him. Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan. A couple of these rookie guys are going to slide in there. And Jalen Hurts' top 10 is ridiculous for a guy who's only thrown 6 touchdowns the entire season. I don't trust Jalen Hurts at all. He's going to be busting this year, okay? Pittsburgh Steelers. This is interesting. There really isn't anybody that I think is going to bust. I think Juju, obviously, I'd called his bust last year. He was a 3rd-round pick. He busted. I don't see Juju doing well again this year. I'm going to say he's going to bust as well. Let's go Seattle Seahawks. High expectations of Chris Carson. He always gets hurt. I don't know, man. I don't trust Chris Carson. Something in my gut says I don't trust Chris Carson. But again, he's looking like he's in the best shape of his life. He has bust potential written all over him. I think Metcalf, Lockett all have safe seasons. Russell Wilson. No one's expecting anything out of Everett. So Chris Carson is kind of that victim of busting. 49ers, I think Raheem Mostert slated as the one is going to bust. They got Trey Sermon there who could step up. But I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk here. A lot of expectations for him, but we haven't solidified the quarterback situation here at all. I'm going to say Ayuk's the bust here on this team. High expectations when I know Debo is the one on that team. Okay, Ayuk. Buccaneers, high expectations for Mike Evans. It's a 3-headed monster committee there with Godwin and Antonio Brown. I'm going to say Mike Evans is going to bust. Tennessee Titans, A.J. Brown, top 7 pick at wide receiver. Is the volume going to be there? I keep saying this. I sound like a broken record, but Ryan Tannehill 18th in passing attempts last year. 106 targets, peaked with Antonio Brown. Now Julio Jones is there. If Julio Jones stays on the field, he's going to get a volume. He's going to get the ball thrown to him. It's a run-first team. Derrick Henry led with 378 attempts last year. A.J. Brown, top 7 is a bit steep for me for a run-first team and a guy who only peaked at 106 targets. A.J. Brown's going to be the bust here for the Tennessee Titans. Washington football team, again, I think McLaurin has some big games with Fitzmagic. Antonio Gibson could really boom or he could bust. I think Antonio Gibson, if anyone's going to bust, it would be him. 2nd-round pick on a team that's suspect. I know McKissick, Barber, and all the other bums on that team suck. Antonio Gibson is the bright spot. From what I'm hearing, Kyle Allen, quarterback, backup, has stated Antonio Gibson is supposed to get, from what he's saying, CMC type value. He could absolutely boom this year, but again, he could absolutely bust, okay? So I'm not saying like Jonathan Taylor when I say he's going to bust. Antonio Gibson, these guys could absolutely boom, but what I'm saying is they're susceptible to bust, okay? I want to get that straight with you guys, okay? I'm not saying they're going to bust. I'm saying they could bust, and they're susceptible to a bust potential, which, kind of could be risky, okay? So there you have it. 1 bust per team, guys. Smash thumbs up. and leave a comment below. Let me know who you think is going to bust. Love to get your feedback here as well and get that 16-round draft so you can go out there and crush your drafts right now. Just Google it. 16 rounds. Get it right now. I'll see you in the course, guys. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're going year-round. We're going to be doing waiver wires, doing everything here. Subscribe. We'll talk soon.